Welcome back to Primetime Super Friends, the show that promises to put the arrow in your quiver, the flash in your pan, and the bat in your belfry. We're also here to let criminals know that we are the swinging wang of justice, and it's not going to suck at self-crime. I'm Jeremy, your guide to all things Star City, and I'm joined by my own super friends. First, our guide to Gotham, John.
Sorry, I'm still contemplating the new intro, and it's the swinging wang. I'm like, you could have gone with hammer, because hammer hits things. Getting hit with a wang is worse. Hi, I'm John.
And our expert on all things related to the fastest man alive, Michael.
What's up?
Before we dive balls into this week's happenings, you should be warned that this show is full of spoilers. So if you're not up to date on what's been going on, you've been warned. All right, let's get started.
The legendary Superpowers Show.
All right, first up this week, we're going to take a trip on over to Star City and talk about Arrow. I'm going to try and make this short, bottom line it a little bit for more time to properly jizz all over the Flash this week. This week we focused on Ra's al Ghul's offer for Oliver to become his heir. We start the episode with Ra's showing Oliver all around his compound, including the Lazarus Pit. We officially get to see the Lazarus Pit.
Damn right we do.
Ra's reveals that basically he's not getting the same benefits from it he once got, and he knows that his time is limited. Ra's talks to Oliver about the many paths to justice and what all he would have at his disposal. Basically says, hey, you can do with it what you want to. If you want to have these motherfuckers renounce killing the way that you have, then thy will be done. And Oliver, I would say correctly, is like, yeah, right, motherfucker, you're called the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
Oliver wants to think over the offer. In the meantime, Malcolm and Diggle's lives are spared, given to Oliver as a peace offering, and they return to Star City. Before he leaves, though, Ra's predicts that Oliver Queen is a man who is going to... he's destined to be alone. The city will turn on him, and eventually he will be killed.
Dun, dun, dun! Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, so Nyssa finds out the truth from Thea, that she's actually the one that killed Sarah. Thea explains the whole situation about being drugged and whatnot. Nyssa does not take her revenge, partially because she gets her ass kicked by Laurel and Roy show up and save Thea.
To be fair, Laurel didn't exactly kick her ass.
Right. To be fair, she just got hit with a dart that knocked her out.
Pretty much.
That's an ass kicking.
Be an ass something.
Yeah.
Let's not think about that too much.
I feel like that got really dark when I wasn't paying attention. Did I miss something?
Michael and I, in our minds, fucking Nyssa.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, but since you said that she
Not
got...
at the same time.
I was just
Although,
thinking...
if necessary.
The fact that she
make a hot
got
Eiffel
knocked
Tower.
out with a dart at the beginning of the conversation makes that really creepy. You two are sick fucks.
CeeLo taught me that if it's another...
CeeLo has never taught anybody anything.
He taught me that if it's another state of consciousness, it doesn't count as rape.
That is not a lesson you should take with you.
Yeah, he's not a role model. Fuck you, CeeLo.
Yeah, fuck you, CeeLo.
So I shouldn't take tranquilizers with me everywhere?
No, sir, you should not. Unless you're Batman. Are you Batman?
Maybe. Does Batman fuck passed out bitches?
No.
Okay, then I'm not.
Damn it. And then I go back to that conversation we had about Batman 1989, in which case you two were like, she was fucked up. He wasn't.
Watch that again.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
Yep.
Thank you for
He's a
twisting one of
rapist.
my childhood favorite movies.
I'm not a rapist, though. I was kidding.
I don't think that's something you should kid about.
It's funny to kid about rape.
Give me a fucking break. If it wasn't for that, this show wouldn't have happened.
I love that when you said that, you looked around like looking for approval from anybody.
I approve.
Thank you.
You're not a good role model either.
I don't care.
Don't you wanna grow up to be just like me?
Okay.
I don't want to be a good role model.
Like Charles Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
I just showed my age. All right, sorry.
All right, we're back. Nyssa is eventually set free by Oliver, who tells Nyssa about the offer from Ra's to become his heir. Nyssa ain't having that shit. She returns to Nana Nana Boo Boo and confronts Ra's.
I don't know why that's so funny, but I felt like I got punched in the stomach with a laugh.
Had to happen.
All right, yep, that's it. That's what it is from now on. Nana Boo Boo.
She confronts Raish, who basically says, "Hey, bitch, you're a weak lesbian, not worthy of being my heir."
Did you think it was because of that? Like,
Man, I thought that was the implication, that he didn't approve of her lifestyle.
I thought he
kinda-
just didn't like Sarah.
He's like said something about her having a weak heart and not. Yeah, it came across to me like, I don't approve of your lifestyle, lady.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, because I mean, you can call Rage a lot of things. You know, a terrorist, a psychopath. You know,
But
whatever.
if he's not down with some girl on girl, he's a fucking monster.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, but a bigot, man.
I don't know. I mean, like, that was probably just me putting my comedic twist
No,
on
because
it,
like
but-
when I was watching it, I'm like, is that what they're going for? I did question it, but I was kind of hoping that that's not the case.
Yeah, she attacks him with a fucking sword, tries to hit him, and he catches that shit with his hand and tells her to fuck off in some other language.
I mean, because if I don't know, I'm still stuck on it. Because I'm like, if he was like, hey, bang who you want, but that bitch was stupid, then I'm like, all right, I get what you're saying, Raish. But
See, in my mind, it's like he thinks there should be a man with her to rule his kingdom, and since that wouldn't be the case with her liking chicks,
kind of like Batman and Talia is what you're
correct.
saying.
God, that's super fucked up.
Yeah, I don't
love
want to think of
lesbians.
it that way.
If he was born like 800 years ago, he's just got an old mindset.
Oh,
man.
that's true.
Yeah, you have to wait for those old timers to die out with those thoughts.
So, with the first cut being the deepest, he sticks his hand in the Lazarus pit and heals that shit up.
I see what you did.
Yeah.
Damn you.
Goddamn song.
Nissa returns to Star City, and eventually, towards the end of the episode, she bonds with Laurel over Sarah and some daddy issues. Looks like we might get some family sloppy seconds.
I approve.
Yeah. And then they can bring Sarah back to Lazarus Pit, and yes.
Hot tub it?
Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, I just thought maybe they were all going to like get in the Lazarus pit together and, you
Naked.
know, let things happen.
Yes.
That sounds super awesome.
Fuck yeah, it does.
I mean, it's like getting better all the way around. Why hasn't Raj thought about this? Maybe he's only waist deep and his dick just gets younger.
I don't want him to get in there with Nissa.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that got weird.
Yeah.
My bad.
He can get in there with the Lances, but not his daughter.
I just feel like that's a step down for Nissa, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing Sarah back in my fantasy.
It's a step down. You're contemplating it, but it's a step down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just picture an ass in leather and then
Yeah.
nakedness. I
okay.
blocked everything else out.
Yeah.
Bitches in the hot tub.
I will never wear
No
leather
dudes.
around
That
you
sounds
again.
like a good rap song. Bitches in a hot tub.
Probably is already a rap song.
Yeah, but if we write it, it'd be better than whatever shit's out there now.
Oh, see, my mind started going. It's, you know, hanging all out with my cars and shit as I'm taking my bitches to the Lazarus pit. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, let's move on.
Very good, John.
Sorry, I just blacked out for a second. What happened?
No, don't worry about it.
Upon returning to Star City, Oliver...
Did you just tongue Oliver? You got tongue-tied over Oliver.
I don't know why that's a shock.
No. I feel like maybe it's moving past lust and onto love a little bit.
That's the way all good relationships start, John.
Yeah, just he doesn't know about it.
He doesn't need to.
I got real creepy in my mind is it's just you outside of a window just jerking it as hard as you can while
And
he's
now
like,
I hear, come to my window.
God damn it, I can picture all of that.
And if I were to dress as Arrow for Halloween, that just makes it that much worse.
oh, that's amazing.
Then he catches you doing it. He peeks out his window and you got the domino mask on.
Got the fucking stereo up over my head.
Cock out.
It has a domino mask on.
As we discussed,
And then he just
A
starts,
one-eyed domino mask.
he just starts undressing slowly because he's into it too.
he knows that you're watching.
Would you like to know how I got these scars? I like pussy.
And Oliver Queen, it's okay. We don't
Yeah,
judge. This is a
it's
safe
true.
environment.
It's true. Everybody's got a couple exceptions to being straight. I'm sorry. Why did it get quiet?
Because we were contemplating our exceptions.
Okay, just making sure.
I just keep thinking of titties and ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
there isn't.
We don't judge.
So upon returning to Star City, all of them.
Oh man.
Mr. Queen learns that Captain Lance no longer supports him. He's upset about Sarah and the fact that Arrow was lying to him. He also finds out, Oliver also finds out that Felicity is fucking the shit out of Ray Palmer. Do you think, I had this thought while I was watching the episode, do you think he can shrink down, walk into her pussy, and speed back her clit?
So you got that all wrong,
wow.
man. Because I thought about this. Because there's that movie Indian in the Cupboard when we were kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, if I was a small person abducted by a large woman, what would I do? And I would totally just bounce around on her boobs all day.
But that wouldn't pleasure her. You're selfish.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I bet she would.
I'm little. What am I gonna do?
Speed back her clit. I thought I just answered that.
And I'm just picturing Felicity really enjoying that,
Yeah.
which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because all you see is her.
Right.
It's actually a really funny image when you do it because it's like. brrrr.
Yeah. And she's just like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think I would just make myself a little bit bigger.
Just one particular area? Or?
No, I mean I don't think it works that way. But it's, you know, you go from being 6 foot tall, which I'm not, to like 7 feet tall, and I'm sure that everything grows with you, right? How
Better
funny
hope
would
so,
that
if
be?
it didn't.
If it's like that's the only part of your body that didn't change sizes?
So you're like an inch tall with a full-size dick?
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to see that. No, can you imagine this like basically army man sized thing dragging around
Dragging
a
the cock.
fucking full-size dick?
Well, you'd only be able to walk backwards at that point, right?
Right. Or maybe
Throw it over your shoulder.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
Hump that shit.
And then just lay it on her tonsils. All right, so sad Oliver is considering Raish's offer. Meanwhile, a new villain named Murmur has shown up in town. His lips are sewn shut, and when they said his lips were sewn shut, I imagine pussy lips.
See, okay,
Naturally.
without going down that road, I gotta say, like, I loved this villain just because he looked creepy as
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Like, those are my favorite kind of villains when they're, like, visually, like, just, you automatically know that's some kind of sick freak right there.
Murmur is in town, and he and his gang have stolen a bunch of cheap diamonds that they're going to use for armor-piercing rounds. Thea is upset that Malcolm Merlin is back. She's basically having an identity crisis and breaking the fuck down. This bitch has got to become Speedy soon, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where this has been heading the whole time, since the show began.
Right, but I mean, like, it's got to happen probably this season, right?
You think she kills him at the end of it?
No.
No?
End of the episode, she shows up at Roy's place for some hopefully not speedy fucking.
I mean, I guess it depends on who gets theirs. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Do I get to watch?
Yeah, that's the
Because
thing.
then it needs to be slow.
Exactly.
She's wearing that midriff, like, shirt this episode.
I'll allow it.
Yep.
Murmur and his crew storm the police station with their armor-piercing rounds and start killing cops. I'll allow that too.
Fuck the police.
Hard.
I like Captain Lance. I don't want him to die.
He didn't die.
I'm just saying, like, what if he got killed? He's a cop.
Man, it happens.
You two are heartless. He'd have to go
hear
back to
Kanye.
England.
Yep.
Nobody should ever hear Kanye. Let's move on.
That was when he was still decent, damn it.
I don't give a fuck. That dude is stupid.
I love Kanye.
Well, you love a lot of dumb things.
I do. It's true.
He's friends with us.
I know. That's where I was leading.
Arrow and crew show up at the police station and save the day with some help from Nyssa, who shows up. Arrow takes down Murmur and kind of waits around for Captain Lance to come out there and make the arrest. And he's like, hey, motherfucker, what are you expecting, a thank you? And Arrow says, that's not why I do this. Oliver's taking some time to figure out why he's doing what he's doing, with some help from Felicity, the non-sexy kind, unfortunately.
Every kind of help from Felicity is sexy kind.
Yeah, but it wasn't. There was no nudity. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't know. A woman does not have to be naked to be sexy.
You have a point, but when you know she's taking dick from somebody else,
Just means you got to chase it down.
the dick.
No.
I'm back to the little toy soldier with the dick on his shoulder.
That's a rap lyric.
But yeah, thanks to Felicity, Oliver's basically found himself again, knows why he's doing what he's doing, and he decides he's going to turn down the offer from Raish.
Turn down for what?
It's an offer that Maseo says Raish has already made the choice, and there will be consequences for the resistance. And then to end our episode this week, we've got a guy in an arrow costume just fucking killing motherfuckers left and right. And all but one guy who he tells to go tell anyone who will listen what he saw. And as we close the episode, we see that the guy in the arrow costume is in fact Ra's al Ghul, who is trying to fulfill what he told Oliver at the beginning of the episode about the entire city turning on him.
Son of a bitch.
That was the only thing that I honestly didn't like about this episode, was because him posing his arrow was a little too on the nose for me. Because, I mean, everything we know about this guy is he sends people to do his bidding.
Have someone else do it.
Have somebody else do it. And then all you
Maybe
gotta,
he wanted to play dress up.
I'm just saying, all you gotta do is then have him hit the little, Bluetooth and be like, it is done, and whatever. I don't know. I just thought that was a little too, like I said, that was the only thing I didn't care for. Everything else was great.
Fine with it was a good episode. I enjoyed this episode quite a bit, but because The Flash was on the night before, I was left going, man.
Up your game, Arrow.
The fucking Flash just fucked me so good that Arrow it made me come 3 times, but it just didn't feel right.
Obviously, no one knows how to respond to that, so...
That was a good analogy.
It was. But I don't want to picture you getting fucked.
Well, don't.
I just wonder if you hurt Arrow's feelings because you were with another that did it better for you.
He'd better fucking up his game. Right. I might start stalking Grant Gustin.
But he made you come 3 times.
Yeah,
That's
at
pretty
least.
good.
A couple of those were with assistance from Felicity.
Okay.
Okay, all of them.
That's not true.
Anywho, that's going to do it from Star City this week. Next up, we're going to dive on into The Flash.
All right, so this week we start out the episode 1 year ago, the night the particle accelerator exploded. The Martin brothers are getting in their airplane and take off just as it erupts, ripping their plane apart and sending them to the ground.
Could you not have said explodes? You said erupts, and I think it was coming.
Explodes
with
would have
that?
done the same damn
Yeah.
thing, and you know it.
Yeah, touche.
Back in present day, Barry and Linda are going to the bowling on a date where they run into Eddie and Iris, who are also on a date. Both couples agree to make it a double date, and there's just a whole bunch of flirtation going on between Barry and Iris. Eddie and Linda are both picking up on it because they're not fucking blind. I mean, Iris wiping that shit off his face. It was...
Yeah.
It was douchey.
It was.
Is what
It was
was
really fucked up.
on all sides because they're like, "Oh, this is innocent. Fuck you."
No, it's not.
I mean, like, because putting yourselves in the shoes of the other two, it's like, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, don't touch my date that way.
If I was Eddie or Linda, I'd have started making out with the other one. Oh, it's innocent.
Eddie just pulls it out. Knock this pin down and show him how it works.
Meanwhile, in a room somewhere, while Linda's sucking off Eddie, fucking Harrison Wells is coming because they're the same guy. Spoilers.
I didn't get that they were the same guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just see it. They're just building up that tension between Eddie and Barry, a reason for him to hate him.
Oh, Eddie will become... Yeah, we'll get there, though.
Back at the Central City Coroner's Office, an autopsy is taking place, and Mark Martin appears asking who killed his brother. He uses his weather powers to make what looks like a giant hell balls. He makes balls and throws them at this dude. To get
Death
info
by
out of him.
balls.
Yep.
Man.
Big balls.
Big balls crashing into you
Yep.
is what you get killed by.
It's my type of interrogation.
How do you hit them with one at a time? swing them like fucking.
Swing one on one side, run around to the other, and swing the other way.
It's like those cat. Is it the cat's cradle thing? You
Yeah,
Pick up your ball
okay.
sack and
Alright.
just keep dropping it.
Just put him in the middle.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds painful.
Sounds sexy.
Whatever does it for you.
Okay, so back at Star Labs, Wells and Cisco are watching a movie. Wells makes a reference to the movie being before his time because he's from the fucking future or something. And then asks Cisco about his family situation, and he reveals that it's good when he's not around his family, pretty much.
Do we know who Cisco's family is? Is that a tie-in or something?
That's the first reference I can remember.
I mean, obviously, well...
His family's Drew Hill, right? The thong song?
Oh,
Yeah.
man, you went there. Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, so back at the bowling alley, Eddie gets the call about an alert. Eddie gets the call about an alert back at the city morgue and leaves. Barry follows suit, leaving Linda and Iris to soak up that awkward bitchiness, pretty much.
Bitch, I hate you.
On the way there, Barry is running super quickly and then sees a strange figure next to him. It's him. It's a blurry vision of himself. At the morgue, they find the coroner dead, and Barry tells Joe that he was killed by hellballs. Turns out that it just so happens there's a fucking recording device in the morgue, which is super convenient, that tells them that Mark Martin is heard threatening the coroner and finds out that Joe killed his brother.
I thought that makes sense, though. I mean, you say it's convenient, like it's like, oh, that's too easy.
Well, when you've
How
got
many
your
times?
hands inside of someone, you've got to be able to...
Well, I'm just saying, how many shows do you watch
That's
where
true.
they're digging out guts and they're like, patient shows that the
Yeah.
testicles were removed through the buttocks?
What shows are those?
I don't know, X-Files or something. We'll go with
now we
that.
know what kind of porn John watches.
That is not porn.
I can't come unless he rips his testicles out through his asshole.
We'll go with CIS Miami. How about that? Is that a thing? CSI?
Sure.
Sure.
Some boring show.
Yeah.
It would be way better to get balls ripped through an asshole, though.
It would make Gotham better.
Yeah, I was about to say season 2 of Gotham, where that's how Fish dies.
You pull her eyeballs out through her asshole.
Or her testicles.
Yeah, because, yeah.
I went
got a
real weird
dick.
in my head where it's like the doll mocker or whatever, and he's like, ha ha ha, now I shall call you Seymour Butts. Let's move on.
Barry and Joe return to Star Labs, where everybody comes to the conclusion that the Martin brothers both got their powers from the explosion, the same powers from the explosion. Cisco name drops Weather Wizard and reveals that he made a grounding mechanism. Just lick that down.
Yes, he did. This is where the video will be.
Yeah.
There'd be so much more of that if I knew I was being...
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
So yeah, he made up something to stop him the first time that he came in. What the fuck was his brother's name?
No.
Who?
The first time, the
was the
other
brother?
Martin brother.
It was Clyde and something.
Clyde, okay.
Yeah.
So the first time they ran into Clyde, so they can use that same thing on Mark. Joe leaves, but Barry sticks around to tell Dr. Wells about what he saw while running. And Dr. Wells tells him not to focus on that. Focus on the Weather Wizard and they'll handle that shit later.
Because Wells was like, I do that shit all the time.
Back at the police department, Captain Singing in the Rain sidelines Joe on the Martin case after the threats were made. Iris enters and is greeted by Eddie, who's pretty pissed off.
Do you think Captain Singing in the Rain would really have enjoyed that death?
From the Weather Wizard?
Yeah. Balls hitting him.
Oh, I was just thinking maybe he'd make
yeah.
it rain.
And it'd be raining, yeah.
Trying to catch the balls in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And
Not
funny.
that fucked up. If he enjoys it. To each their
Whatever,
own.
get your rocks off.
Eddie was pissed off because Iris was flirting with Barry at the bowling alley. Joe and Barry drive around eating lunch, where he tries to ask Joe for some relationship advice about his daughter again, which Joe laughs off. This scene just was fucking stupid because it starts raining. If you're dealing with the Weather Wizard,
Right.
you would pay attention to every little bit of weather that's
Okay,
happening.
I'm glad you thought so too. 'Cause I'm like, they're driving around when he's already been told he's coming after him specifically.
Yeah.
Like the moment a fucking raindrop happened, like, nope, stop, where's this bitch at? But
Yep.
no, they just keep
I'd be
driving.
very paranoid because weather is always happening.
Yes.
Yeah, but if it went from sunny to raining,
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're not a very good detective. As they talk, the rain comes. Okay.
Should be a detective on Gotham with that kind of.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it is questionable. I mean, he put away Barry's dad. He gave up on the Wells thing.
Well, they finally realize that Martin is behind them in the shitty pickup truck, causing the storm over them. Sends a bolt of lightning down into the car, and Barry moves faster than lightning. Saves them both before the car explodes.
Like a flash.
Iris goes back to work, where Mason Bridge brings up Harrison Wells once again. Bridge notes that Wells was the last person to see Simon Stagg from the very beginning of the show, which is rather suspicious. He asks her to ask her friends about Wells. Iris goes to the coffee table where she runs into Linda, who of course is fucking super pissed off at her. And then Iris goes to meet Barry at Jitters, where she brings up Bridges' suspicion about Wells, who of course Barry defends. Later at Star Labs, Cisco shows off his wizard's wand, which will suck up all the energy out of the area and put a stop to Martin's powers.
He'll be exhausting those hail balls.
With his wand. He's going to have the wand and the balls. Blowjobs. Wells congratulates him and heads off, making a joke about stretching his legs, because, hey, his legs work, leaving Barry a chance to tell the two of them about Iris and her suspicions. Caitlin shrugs it off, but gets Cisco thinking again. Back at the police department, Cisco presents the wand to Joe and tries to ask him about his suspicion of Wells, but Joe tells him it's not the best time, unzips, flops it out. Weather wand.
Hey, Joe.
And then Joe unzips his. Even bigger.
Touche, good sir.
I can't control the weather, but it makes bitches wet. As Cisco leaves...
Makes bitches flood.
Ooh.
Flash floods.
As Cisco leaves, gets in the elevator, Mark Martin shows up.
Marky Mark showed up?
Yes, he did.
Mark Madden is where I went with that. But.
So Mark shows up, confronts Joe, gets all pissed off, throws some wind at his face, sends him flying through a door. It takes that to happen before the rest of the cops around realize that the guy they're looking for is right fucking there. He pulls in some lightning and prepares to fire it at Joe, but Captain Singing in the Rain pushes him out of the way and takes that load. Tried to make it gay, but it didn't. He takes the full force of the attack. Barry races in, grabs the wand, depowers the weather wizard, picks up Captain Singh, and races to the hospital. Okay, so Caitlin prepares to leave Star Labs for the day, but Cisco tells her what Joe told him previously about Dr. Wells, and she writes it off. Cisco persists because some things aren't adding up, like how the containment field gave out during the mid-season finale. In order to perform an experiment to test out his theory, Cisco asks Caitlin to stall Wells from coming in the lab in the morning.
Never gonna happen.
He can do it super quick.
No, there's nothing that's going to stop him from coming in that lab. Oh wait, we were talking about going to the lab.
Going to the lab, or coming in the lab.
Whatever. He's got a secret room. What else do you do in there? Look at your suit?
Beat off really quick.
Beat off on that suit.
You think you can watch future porn?
Ooh, what is future porn?
I don't know, but it's got to be better than what we have now, right?
It's fucking naked bitches. That's universal. It doesn't matter what time. Well, that's not true, because back in the day, there was no fucking grooming of the pubic region. So if that ever comes back into fashion, no thank you.
Or like, I'm just thinking like AOL in 1995 or whatever, when it's like line, waiting,
But once those lines
waiting.
all came in,
You were done.
I came in my hand.
Gross.
I came in a sock.
You and everybody else, sir.
Back at the hospital, Barry brings coffee to Joe and Captain Singh's fiance. The doctor comes out and reveals that it's possible Singh may never walk again. Also pointed out the fact that the dude's gay again because she's like, only family can come in.
Yeah, I thought that was like a political statement.
Yeah, it was.
That episode.
He's his fiance. That's just like
That's family. You better let him in. Oh, okay.
Like, no, sir, it's a dude. And then he punches the bitch in the face. That'd have been much better. Bigots get punched. Not a word.
Punched it.
Joe, hellbent on revenge, asks Barry to look after Iris because he has to take down Martin himself. Barry goes to where Iris works and finds Mason Bridge. They talk about Wells, and Bridge reveals that he has proof about Wells on some secure digital device, but won't specify what it is. Back at Star Lab, Cisco brings the containment field online to find out what went wrong. And in an alley somewhere, Joe goes hunting for Martin in one of their old hideouts, but ends up finding Eddie instead. Back home, Barry finds Iris and asks her if she knows anything about the evidence that Bridge said before about Wells, but she's unaware of it too. She shifts the subject to Linda and how she thinks that she isn't right for Barry, which leads Barry to ask, then who is? Cisco tests the containment field and finds no problems with it, but then the reverse flash appears inside the field. He's digging too deep.
Balls deep?
Yes. Eddie and Joe continue to inspect the dark building and come across a recently used empty room. The wind begins to pick up, and Joe is sucked out of a window, leaving Eddie to hoot and holler. Hoot and holler, I would not say that.
Hoot and holler.
Hey, wait, that sure is a lot of wind. Joe,
We got a tornado up in here!
Joe wakes up on a ship, beaten and handcuffed by Martin, who taunts and tortures him before securing a piece of tape to his mouth.
God, that sounded sexual.
50 Shades of Flash.
Oh my God.
Caitlin and Dr. Wells are sitting at Jitters.
50 Shades of Black, wasn't it?
Well, that's racist. They're at Jitters drinking coffee, and Caitlin just is horrible at hiding anything because clearly the bitch is up to something and doesn't want Wells to go anywhere.
It'd been really funny if she made a play at him, like, "Hey, Eddie's not around."
Wrong person.
Not Eddie. What's his name?
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Do you want to
They
see my
both don't
titties?
have full man names. Let's just go with that.
Eddie gives a whole rah-rah speech about finding Joe at the police department, and notices Barry reassuring Iris, which of course gets him pissed off again.
Again, assholes.
Right? Hide that shit, or just don't do it. Linda's sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Sexier than ours.
About then, Iris gets a phone call from Martin, who tells her he has Joe and she should come to the waterfront alone if she wants to see him alive again. She tells Barry, who offers to accompany her, and of course, fucking Linda shows up, and Barry chooses to leave with Iris because he has to, but if Linda doesn't see that shit for some reason because
She
it's fucked
will.
up.
She has to follow them, right?
Has to.
Yeah.
I kept thinking she was going to pop up behind them at the waterfront later on.
Surprise, bitch!
Meanwhile, Caitlin and Dr. Wells continue to talk. He presents a plan for tracking Martin and asks Caitlin to get their coffee to go so they can get right to it. Caitlin awkwardly approaches the counter, in which he turns around. Wells is fucking gone.
But his wheelchair is still there.
Done.
Bum, bum.
How'd he get away?
Dude, he's. You'll find out.
Super fast.
Cisco stands watching the reverse flash in the containment field, and it turns out that it's a recording, which Wells knows by heart because he walks behind Cisco and is reciting the same line as the reverse flash.
I have to say, to this point in the show, I had still kind of just seen this guy as JD's brother from Scrubs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And during this episode, I went, that motherfucker's a great villain.
Yp.
Oh, I like him, from the beginning.
I'm not saying I thought he was a bad actor or bad for this role. I just still always saw JD's brother in it and everything. And then this episode, he flipped that shit around. And now if I go back and watch Scrubs, I'm going to see Reverse Flash.
Such
That's
a great
awesome.
parody, though, where if they could actually get Tom Cavanaugh and Zach Braff, Zach playing the Flash, Cavanaugh playing Reverse Flash,
pretty fucking awesome.
but as JD and his brother.
And Donald Faison as Wally West.
Yes.
Wally West isn't black?
Spoilers, Michael. Get over it.
Down at the waterfront, Martin sees Iris approach with Barry and tell Joe that he gets to watch the death of everyone that he loves before forming a massive storm cloud. Back at Star Labs, Dr. Wells claps for Cisco and introduces himself as Eobard Thawne.
Fucking A right.
Had no idea.
He shows off his ability to produce a speed mirage wherein he can move so fast that two of him appear. Cisco asks him about Jesus. He asks him about the night 15 years ago where Wells reveals he never meant to kill Nora, but instead to kill Barry, and he's been stuck in their time period ever since.
May I point out, he did not specify
Which?
future Barry or past Barry.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. Because when he said that, I'm like, well, okay, nope, yeah.
He did also drop that because Cisco brings up the fact about Eddie Thawne, and he points out that he is, call him a distant relative.
I think they're the same person.
How do you figure? Like, I'm curious about this because you kind of alluded to it earlier.
Well, the night that the particle accelerator exploded, it hit Eddie like it did everyone else, right?
Okay.
Gave him super speed and whatnot. He hasn't discovered it yet in current form. He will as he gets pissed off. I'm thinking maybe anger brings out his powers as he gets more and more pissed off at Barry.
And see, like, that would make sense storyline.
Somehow he flashes forward into the future, and then somehow he comes back.
I just feel like it's one of those things where
The dude's aged 15 years.
I know, but casting wise, I don't see where that guy or Eddie gets to Eobard.
I guess,
Like
but-
I would sooner see kind of like people speculated in the beginning, where you could see Barry aging that way. I don't see it with the other two. I'm not saying you're wrong because we don't fucking know, but
and maybe it's like his cousin or some shit. I don't know, but
I assume it's like nephew or like whatever.
So do you think he is if he's not Eobard, do you think he is a Reverse Flash?
I mean, that's why I think they're the same person, because I don't see them doing two Reverse Flashes.
Two different ones?
I do. I think that's going to happen.
Not yet. I
Not
don't
yet.
know. I just.
But who says that they're going
I
to turn
think-
around next season and make Eddie Reverse Flash? I mean, it could be 3 seasons from now. This show's going to be on over a while.
Well, I know, and I just think about in the comics where one of the motivators for Reverse Flash becoming a bad guy was finding out that he was destined to become a bad guy and fucking snapping. So I could see that happening with Eddie.
That's what I love about this show. You don't fucking know. And I like going along for the ride.
Yeah,
And they
because
could
we've been
twist that,
speculating
though.
for how long about whether or not Wells was.
Eobard?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I did love it's awesome that
Oh,
we
the
find out
reveal
who
was.
he is.
I mean, like it was a
sure.
reveal that we pretty well knew was
But
coming.
it still made me busted.
but
It was awesome to hear him say
It was
it.
still
Yeah.
awesome for it to come to fruition.
Yep.
Yeah. And the way he did it, like, I've just been lying about my name.
And at the same time, super sad because motherfucker's not going to let Cisco go.
Yeah.
Because he just found out some shit.
Yeah, and that was super fucking sad. That whole scene was, like, tense as fuck. And then a few minutes later, they made me go, oh, he ain't dead.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's for sure. The only thing that I would have liked to see more from that is we've seen Wells or Thawne, whatever you want to call him now, Reverse Flash, do some kind of emotional, dialogue and mannerisms and things when dealing with this group of people to make you think. I mean, he really does like them.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't fucking want to be here. He wants to
Yeah.
go home. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more emotion out of that. Kind of like, I have to do this.
I
But
also
it's-
thought you got that when he was like, you've become like a son to me. I was like, don't kill him. But
Well,
He
I guess,
vibrated his
or
hands
maybe
super
that's what
fast.
it is. I would have liked to have seen a little hesitation, just
and
briefly.
when he did
But-
vibrate his hands super fast, I was like, you got to do that to a bitch, right?
Oh, God.
Well, it would probably kill her.
No, you tone it down a touch.
Did you guys ever watch that movie Zoom with Tim Allen?
No.
No.
His ability was that he could run super fast, and at the beginning of the movie, he vibrates his finger to make a milkshake. And yeah, that's pretty much,
I'd vibrate my finger to make a bitch shake.
All right. So he vibrates his hand and kills Cisco. Puts it right through his chest. Tells Cisco that to him, you've been dead for her. To me, you've been dead for centuries. And his body falls to the floor. Super sad. Iris and Barry walk along the waterfront looking for Joe and Martin, but decide to have a heart-to-heart talk where they both reveal their feelings for each other and decide that they got to get their kiss on while looking for her fucking dad who's beat up on a boat somewhere.
As
probably about to be murdered.
Yeah.
as racists just get upset.
They then notice the storm approaching, which has transitioned into a full-on tsunami. Barry calls Caitlin to asks what to do, and she tries to bring up Dr. Wells, but Barry brushes it off. Caitlin tells him if he can create a wall of wind on the shore, he
Not
can
shakes it off.
Damn it.
Damn it. Create a big wall of wind to repel the wave. Though he didn't want Iris to find out this way, which he told her, Barry changes into his Flash outfit in front of her. I mean, that was important. He asks her how fast he would have to run, and she tells him that she doesn't think he can run that fast. So then he begins running along the beach, knowing that he has to run as fast as he can, slowly creating the wall. Or I guess not slowly, but creating the wall. But then Barry moves so fast that he travels back in time.
Gotta go back in time.
Becoming the figure he saw previously and finding himself at the start of the episode.
So obviously that'll undo Cisco
that.
seeing, all
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah. I mean that was definitely. I mean, when Cisco died, it was cool, it was good, but there was no part of me that's like, well, he's not on the show anymore unless they throw us a curveball.
They could, but
Goddamn, I
Jesus
love Cisco.
Christ, this episode was good.
So goddamn amazing.
Oh, it was. I mean, definitely the climax of everything so far.
It wasn't even any type of finale.
Yeah.
Gotham had a mid-season finale, and that was fucking dog shit. This
Oh, it was
could-
one of their
this
worst
one-
episodes.
This could have been like 8 different season finales.
Yeah.
It was goddamn amazing. I cannot wait for the next episode.
The only thing I will
several.
still go back to is at this point, like, I'm not rooting for Barry and Iris. Like, I just.
And part of that's because I think she's a fucking cunt.
Well, because she brushed him off and then
Yes.
kept flirting with him and
Yep.
throwing things at him or whatever.
She's a fucking tease.
Like bitches do.
And now that he's all fucking superhero and whatever, now she's got a thing for him.
Well, not even that. It's just now that, he's got somebody else.
Yeah, that too. Bitches ain't shit.
To that point, maybe they're just writing it realistic.
Yeah, true. Because that is realistic.
That's how cunts act.
Yeah,
I mean, women.
same thing.
Yes.
And we're good here.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And most of our theories were proven true. We'll see what happens with my theory about Eddie and Eobard.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, I'm on board with it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That would suck to have the name Eobard as a kid. Just think about that.
Yeah.
Call me Eddie. It sounds better.
Exactly. Exactly. That's going to do it for this week on Primetime Super Friends. If you like what you heard, you can find us on Twitter at Primetime Super. We all have individual Twitter accounts as well. I'm at Legendary Jeremy. Michael?
At African81.
John?
At Raging Leprechaun.
Check out our other, better, funnier, more disturbing and disgusting and just fucking terrible, but awesomely terrible show, Pub Talk.
That's saying a lot after this show, I think.
It's so much worse, but so much funnier. Pub Talk, pubtalkpodcast.com. You can find all the information about that show as well as this show at that website. You can email us any questions, comments, whatever you may have at primetimesuperfriends@gmail.com. And you can suck our super dicks until next week. Stay super bitches.
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Death by balls.
Come to my window. Jesus Christ!
Where?
Everywhere.
I'm just thinking, look over and he's
Michelle
like,
Branch.
Michelle Branch.
Yeah.
Thought about her in a while.
I think about her sometimes.
Yeah, I do too.
Is she passed out?
No.
She's very active in what's going on when I think about her.